Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fresh Horizons. Not today from Hope Cove, but instead from the Sea Life Centre in London, where I went to visit the Animal Crossing Sea Life collaboration event. I apologise in advance for the rambling nature of this, folks. It's going to be very unscripted. Let's get into it. So I'm doing this voiceover later than the event. I'm way behind with posting these still, so it's been a while since this event happened. I got to go on the opening day, so the event was still kind of being set up that morning. And literally after we saw it, some of it got moved to different places because as people were going through some of the stuff, maybe realised as it was getting busy that some of the stuff wasn't maybe in the best place for some of it. So literally we would stop and read something, and then the staff would pick it up and literally move it. They call the Sea Life Centre London the Wonder Under London, which doesn't really make any sense. I believe it's the smallest Sea Life Centre in the country, but it certainly has a lot of exhibits. And before the Animal Crossing event came to London, it had been to, I think it had done the US, Australia and much of Europe before we had it. But it had also already been around the UK, in Manchester and Birmingham. I think it went to Brighton after London, but it also went to Brighton and maybe a few other places. If you went, let me know how it was. But this is what we had during the event. So you got a sheet you could take around with you, which had, much like the stamp rally in the museum in the game, was a Meet the Residents theme, and at different points throughout the sort of tour, shall we say, of the Sea Life, where you would stamp different characters onto your sheet, and when you got them all at the end, you got a prize at the end for it. And I don't know how they picked the characters, but the characters on the sheet were a mix of like quite obscure, I thought, characters and maybe some all-time favorites. So we see here we had Tom Nook, obviously. We had Rover, obviously. Octavian doesn't strike me as a major character, but I'm glad he was on there. We had Aurora. We had Bunny, who I love. Peanut, Rod, Molly, who's great. Lily, obviously one of my favorites. Alfonso and Fauna, who's pretty great. But a few of those to me, like Rod, I'm not sure about. Is Rod beloved of the internet or something? Rod is an odd one to have on there. Peanut, I thought, was an odd one to have on there. But these were the characters they had, and it seemed to be, for the pictures I've seen from other events, apart from in the US where they only had 4, these were the same sheets that were used at a lot of the global events. So I think there must be a reason they picked those characters out of the 400 or so that are in New Horizons. But yeah, so around different points around the thing, you would have little information boards about the characters, which would have their birthday and some facts around them and some pictures, and they were always done in 2s. And at the end, you got, if you filled it out 100% and you went at the gift shop at the end, and they gave you this nice postcard to take away with the key art for the event on it. I know I think it was the US, you got a sticker, but I know in Europe and I think in Australia, you got the postcard. One of the biggest points of the event is also the meet and greet. At different times of the day, you get Isabelle or Tom Nook. We were in no hurry, so we got to meet both. I'm a big fan of life-size characters, at Disney or even just on the street. Performance in these big suits is just like, I don't know, it just brings me a lot of joy. Look, if you see this and you were one of the performers doing Tom Nook or Isabelle at the London Aquarium, I have so much appreciation for you and everything you did that day. It was one of the hottest days of the year, and you were just going crazy and having so much fun and never letting folks leave unhappy. It was just joyous. Made me so happy. We got this booklet at the start. I also got a Ranger pack, which I don't seem to have anywhere anymore, which was meant predominantly for kids, and you could do little activities and things. But this booklet is great because it just features some really, really great imagery of like the otters, the clownfish on the earlier page just looking angry, and there's a lot of information and stuff in here, which is they're just really nice to see. Obviously, without getting into it too much, I am slightly conflicted on the nature of zoos and animal enclosures and anything where animals are kept in captivity. But I also like seeing fish and animals. So a thing like the London Aquarium isn't naturally something I would go to a lot of the time, but in a way it's really beautiful to just see some of these animals in a pseudo-natural environment and what they do and how they act, and get to learn just more about the conservation efforts that are being put in to help them, even if, yeah, maybe a penguin shouldn't be in the centre of London. But anyway, this is what we saw, and there's all kinds of fish there, and there were blathers boards at different points around to accentuate the exhibits that already existed, that I think are mirrored in a lot of the in the sea life aquariums. So you'd see sea anemones, you'd see clownfish, you'd see sea bass. There's a sort of rainforest area where they had turtles and piranha, which was really interesting. But also, obviously, it wasn't specifically an Animal Crossing thing, but the ants made me think of the ants that escape in the museum if you fill it, and that made me laugh, I have to admit. But there's so many like lovely fish. Like there was this little guy who's pulling nutrients, I think, off the rocks and the pebbles and stuff in the tank. That must be how they eat. Love it. And one of my favourites, as I think I already said, is seahorses. So I just loved seeing the seahorses. There's some large open tanks where you got to see sea bass and monkfish and other creatures. And this was also where you could spot, if you were clever, you could spot Gulliver. Or Gulliver, rather, not Gulliver. Gulliver. Yeah, this was where Gulliver was, which I think for the children was a challenge. Like you had to spot Gulliver and then be able to tell people where he was. So he was passed out in one of the boats. And at different points there were also, not humongous, but there were cardboard cutouts of certain characters. I saw Blathers, I saw CJ. I've seen online there was a Pascal one, did not spot him, and I believe there's an Isabel one somewhere. Otherwise, I thought the whole event just was really nicely done. The only, it's not really even a criticism, but the Sea Life Centre in London is such a big tourist attraction that I think in many ways, and it was also day one of the Animal Crossing event, that almost no one was there for the Animal Crossing event, which was kind of crazy to see. Like I think it was happening and a lot of people were just like, what's that? Whereas every now and again you would spot someone that was, maybe was wearing some Nintendo merch, or they were, they were acting a certain way when they spotted like the stamp things. And that was nice to see. There was a nice but very small Animal Crossing community who were there on day one. But otherwise, there were big school groups, there were a lot of tourists, and they were people who were just coming in because it's one of the big attractions on the Thames, which is kind of interesting. I wanted to get back later in the run to try and go again, but it just never happened, unfortunately, because it was only on for a month. Most of the events that have it for a month. Also, sometimes you will see the Sea Life staff who are busy cleaning a tank, and the school groups just loved this and were trying to take selfies with the people in the tank, even though there are signs that say like, don't bother the people when they're working. It's kind of funny to see. And at the end of the tour, we had the gift shop. These are just pictures because I couldn't get video at this point, but we had some Lego, we had some plushies, we had some sort of keyring things. I probably should have got one of these, but I didn't. I did get the badges, but I can't find them at the moment, so they're not going to be pictured here. But jigsaws, a lot of the same stuff you would see, you've seen for sale over the last couple of years, was in the gift shop. There wasn't that much that was exclusive, but I did get this cranny mug with Timmy and Tommy on it, and then the cranny on the one side. Nothing in there was wildly special. I had planned to get a specific piece of Lego, which they didn't have, and it was day one, relatively early, so all the merch they had was all the merch they were going to have, without dominating quite a small gift shop. So that was the Sea Life Centre Animal Crossing event. I think I would go back and do it again if it came back to London, or maybe to another city in the UK, and just see what it's like at a different aquarium, with a slightly different audience, maybe a larger scale, and just see how that makes it different. I have my feelings about Sea Life Centres, aquariums, things like that, but it was a nice event to go to, and I'm glad I did. And if it comes to your town or it comes back to whatever country you're in, I think it's something, if you're a fan, that's worth doing, because there is something quite nice about it. It's quite educational too if you've got children or you know, anyone who's a fan who just wants to know more about fish. There is that element to it, and I think that's, you know, straight from the game, and it's done really, really well here with the education boards and the little activities and things. And it's just, sometimes it's just really nice to see animals. So that was my day at the Sea Life Centre, London. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be back on Hope Cove next week. Big changes ahead for Hope Cove, and I'll see you next week. See you guys.